Hey, what's up, guys? It's Nelson Brothers MMA. It's Jason and Derek, and we're here. We're going to be talking about the Yoel Romero versus Luke Rockhold main event. We're going to be broadcasting for that live.
Interesting to me that Rockhold's walking out first. What are your thoughts on that? Why?
Yeah.
Is it because
Actually, at first, when I heard the song, I was like, I like it. It's DMX. I'm digging it. And I thought Yoel when I first saw it, but then shows up Rockhold.
is that because Romero just? Oh, I guess he's ranked #1. Never mind. That makes sense to me.
Yeah,
But I thought former champ actually held the belt versus not. I don't know. It's semantics.
You're going with the guy that he lost the belt to Bisping, but other than that, I mean, he was the champion. He was right there. He was the champion. He lost a fight to Bisping, came back and won another fight against David Branch. I think he should have walked out second, but I guess it's not that big a deal at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's not. It's just a fun.
Although, I mean, if your music's pumping you up, you might want to have yours play last.
So what do you make of Romero not making weight? Is it injury or is it the new weight cutting rules that fouled him up somehow or what? My first thought's injury, but I don't know with the new weight cutting stuff if that plays a factor with these guys needing to come in the week at a certain percentage and who knows, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like we talked about, we haven't gone over the details of the new weight cut policy, but still, everybody else made weight. So Yoel was the only one, and out of the two guys that absolutely had to make weight tonight, he was one of them, and he didn't. So I don't know. And you're going into a fight. You're 40 years old. You don't know how many more of these fights you can have, and he's made it very vocal that he wants his fights to be for titles. So you need to show up, and you need to make weight. So that right there, that says a lot to me on his preparation level for this fight.
I don't know if I go there though. My mind goes to injury, just being that he is such a seasoned wrestler. It's weird to me that he didn't when he's so experienced at making weight. My mind goes to the injury thing or some other X factor. Especially too, the weird thing is for me when a wrestler at his level misses weight. I think they said he's 187. When you're only 2 pounds off, I mean, most wrestlers, you say you got to squeeze out another 2 pounds.
Yeah,
that's not a lot for these guys. And they'll go to the limits. So I wonder if the rules just came in at some point and it becomes like a hydration test thing or whatever. They're not letting him go farther.
Yeah,
because he's a pretty thick guy.
No, he is. He's a very thick guy. Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I can definitely see that point. With that huge wrestling background, he's been making weight for years and years and years. So, this hasn't been a problem before. So maybe he very well could be onto something here. Maybe he does have an injury.
I'm always shocked too that honestly that Rockhold makes the weight. He looks so tall and big because he's like 6'3" here or something. 6'3". So
he said he was pretty vocal about it leading up to the fight that this weight cut wasn't easy and that it gets harder and harder and that his move up to light heavyweight is imminent, which is interesting because he did talk about how DC is going to heavyweight and he's not coming back. So Luke, I think Luke wants to win this middleweight title one more time and then make his way back up is what his plan probably is.
I like that. That's interesting. I almost like the storyline too with the AKA guys sort of fainting like they would be willing to fight each other. You got DC talking about, Kane saying it'll get interesting, get my belt back. People reading in between those lines, and if Rockhold's going to mention potentially going up to 205, obviously the champ right now is his teammate there, so that gets interesting. It's kind of a fun storyline.
Yeah, I think it does get interesting. I don't know if they would actually fight each other, but I think them creating that drama right now is a smart move to do. And
they might. You never know.
I would definitely love to see that fight. I know that they say it happens every day in the gym, but it's totally different when you're out there in front of all the fans. I'm sure they would pull an extra little bit out, each of them. And I'm sure they have some pretty high-level fights.
Yeah.
DC, in my mind, getting off topic here, but DC, I think, in my mind, is one of the best out there right now. I think he puts it all together really well.
So the interim championship, but Romero can't win it. Seems weird to me though if that Rockhold could still win it. If Romero can't, it just feels weird and feels like this just shouldn't be a thing then, right? It's like,
yeah, this kind of reminds me of like Anderson Silva versus Travis Luter for the middleweight title, and Luter didn't make weight, so then they scrapped it. It wasn't for the title.
Yeah,
I kind of almost think maybe it should have been that. I mean, it just feels a little funky because then what if Yoel wins?
And it just shows all the more reason why these interim titles aren't worth it. You're either fighting for a belt or you're not.
Yeah, I mean, they could have fined him, and then maybe just the winner still gets the little, I get to fight Robert Whitaker title. But yeah, either way, neither one of these guys is going to be the legitimate champion after this. So these interim titles are very cumbersome at this point. I think it's just a marketing tactic.
So do you think Romero with the weight miss, do you think that he comes out a little more urgency? Just I would assume, right? You assume when a guy misses weight that typically you think they're gonna try to finish it early. They don't want to be in there for 25 minutes, especially. Does he fight any different or just same?
That's a great question. I don't think that. Normally, I would say yes to most people, but I think Yoel's been here with sort of weird things happening in his fights. He had the stool incident with Tim Kennedy, and that didn't seem to bother him in the least bit. He came back out in the third round
because he got his rest.
Yeah,
didn't bother him because the same with TKO.
Basically, a little dirtiness pretty well. So, and he deals with it in his favor.
Dirtiness. Now you're getting biased.
We're still here. Okay.
We might have dropped for a second. We apologize. Technical difficulty.
All right. I just got the excitement juice in me. It's about to start. Feeling good. Luke looks like a stone cold focus right now, I'd say.
You got the explosiveness of Romero and then the distance kicks of Rockhold. Let's see which one holds up.
I think this first round is going to be really important for both guys, especially Luke, for him to survive, because Yoel is dangerous in these first few rounds.
Right out of the gates, I just feel like Rockhold's got a big reach advantage. Not that Romero can't close distance well, but it's very stark when you look at these two. Supposedly only 3 inches of height difference, but Luke looks really long compared to him, right?
Yeah, no, he does. I'd say right away it looks really, really different. Like Luke's much bigger. I'd say more than 3 inches in height. I mean, maybe
maybe they fib a little.
Because Luke definitely stands a little bit more erect. He's definitely a kicking intensive guy, and Yoel likes to be more shrunken up to explode.
Looks like he's going to the low kick. It might be on the calf there too. You see that a little bit more nowadays. That was a
Yeah, I'm already seeing some redness on Yoel's lead calf, his lead leg. That's such an interesting technique that's come out. Maybe we'll have a video about that.
Yeah, Jimmy Smith saying he's been checking Rockhold right out. I'm sure that shin is conditioned well, though. He's probably not even phased by a little check or two.
So I'd say right now we're about a minute 20 in, and it's kind of typical Yoel. He's definitely being kind of very slow and non-telling. Luke's not really buying into it quite yet. He hasn't overcommitted to anything. And it looks like he's really trying to work the leg kick right now.
Unfazed by the check, so even though he's bleeding a little bit, not showing any worse for the wear or any tentativeness in throwing it.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that Luke is bleeding from his leg.
Oh, he had a little fake low go high from Romero off the lead leg too. He's like, "Hey, bro, I could kick too."
All right, that one got so Luke just landed another power leg kick, and Yoel gave him like the "yeah, you got me" nod. But usually that's not a good sign when fighters start doing it. So
he's getting a little funky in there too. Some funky hand movements.
Okay, I think these leg kicks, Yoel's definitely got to start checking these leg kicks because it looks like they're gonna pay off. Put Luke in some trouble, or put Yoel in some trouble.
Yeah, and you wonder with Romero doing some of the hand gestures, I don't know, like what the goal is. I don't necessarily put him on an Anderson Silva-esque level where you're faking a guy out like that. So you wonder if he's just reaching for something a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
He's got the big power, but I think that he needs maybe a little help in getting the setups.
So this is kind of like right now, this fight is Luke's fight. Luke's, it's at range.
That almost looked like a bug Luke there, a little.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of a kick.
This is so far. Ooh. All right, Yoel. Right as I say that, Yoel's coming back with some kicks of his own.
Yeah, Rockhold's failed to check a couple of those, and they look to be. I don't know if he's just leaping weird away from it, or it's actually connecting that bad.
Uh-oh. Yoel just landed a nice overhand left. It barely grazed Luke. A couple more inches further, man, and I don't know. That would be a hard shot for Luke to take. So.
Yeah, and Rockhold's backing up pretty straight, which is the mistake he made in the Bigsby fight too, of just sort of backing straight back.
He does that a lot. He did it against Branch too. Branch had him on his heels, and Rockhold does not do well, in my opinion, going backwards. I know he said he's a good counter striker, but I don't know. I don't think he does well when guys pressure him. So that's the interesting thing. In my prediction, I was saying Yoel needs to put the pressure on him, and he's not really doing that well, in my opinion. He's kind of trying to stay at range, but he's landed some really nice leg kicks, and his leg kicks are from a thigh that's probably twice the size of Luke's. So they look a little bit more menacing.
Yeah. Rockhold trying to come back in with some stuff of his own, but
yeah, Yoel's getting funky.
Good start for Luke Rockhold on the feet. Both guys, though, a little bit calculated.
A little slow right now, I'd say.
But Romero's pace, for sure. Romero likes this pace, I'm sure, with just, especially if he doesn't make weight and all that. It wasn't particularly quick, just slow bursts. To be honest, though, coming out of this round, I don't know where I score. Pretty even, I would say.
Yeah, I would say pretty even too. I mean,
I might actually lean a little bit Romero because I felt like his kicks looked like they just did a little bit more. And I don't know if that was the visual of Rockhold maybe kind of trying to jump back out of the way and getting moved back by them a little bit, or if they really were that powerful. But I didn't really see, neither guy had a whole lot of the hands going in the round.
Yeah, Luke's definitely not my favorite puncher in the world. I don't think his hands are as good as he makes them out to be a lot, but he does have great kicks. But in this round, I don't know. I think Luke definitely had the beginning, but then I don't like the way Luke reacts when he gets hit. Whereas when Luke hits Yoel so far with those leg kicks, Yoel just doesn't seem to care. So we'll see. We'll see going in the second round.
Really small detail, nitpicking, and could be absolutely nothing. But when I'm looking at Luke Rockhold's eyes, he almost looks like he's been up a lot, a little tired. I don't know if that's just maybe the look or whatnot, but you wonder when they fight in Australia if some of these guys can't get adjusted quick enough or get a good night's sleep. I also believe they fight live, right? So is this actually like a 3 a.m. thing?
All right, Yoel.
We got Yoel storming.
Yoel's wow.
Rockhold with the tie clinch to try to save himself, but he's just eating a barrage of body shots.
Oh wow, yeah. Yoel's all over Rockhold. Rockhold's got hematomas on his forehead. This is exactly what I was thinking Romero has to do, is put the pressure on Rockhold.
But Rockhold's right here, and Romero spent a lot. He's breathing heavy and not following up.
Yeah, I like the tie clinch Rockhold got. It seemed like it definitely slowed Yoel down when he had him up against the cage.
It saved him from that finishing blow, but he took at least I don't know, 10 shots to the body, hard shots.
Yeah.
Romero went Diaz style on him right there.
Yeah, he kind of did. Like a
Just, yeah.
All right, Luke's reestablishing his jab. He's trying to get himself back into this fight, back into the round. But right now, I'd say body language and fight, just the way the fight's sort of telling right now is that Yoel's winning. And for sure after that burst.
It looks like Rockhold's a little unsure of where he wants to go with the offense because the hands aren't getting through. He's lightened up on the kick output. And so I'm just not sure what he's going to start to do then to mount offense, because I don't know that he has a whole lot of other things in his arsenal that we typically see.
Yeah, I don't see Luke getting Yoel down, and I don't see him trying to take him down either, because Yoel's got some nasty knees, and they almost seem like they're just subconsciously programmed. So when guys shoot on him, he knocks them out with knees. So
yeah, he does time that well.
On that, and I agree. I don't know where Luke looks for his offense right now. He does look a little unsure of himself right now, I'd say. Like,
yeah,
definitely he's throwing one or two punches at a time.
But what I'm looking at here is Romero looks a little bit winded. Like he's catching his breath after that burst, in my mind.
This is where, if I'm in Luke Rockhold's corner after that burst, especially like right now when you're a minute out of that, I'm telling them to increase output. You know, throw some teeps to the belly.
Yeah.
I don't think Yoel's going to be –
Romero's going in.
Got another burst there, and man, if he landed one of those shots.
Yeah, I mean, Rockhold doing a great job of dodging, which is what I anticipated. But yeah, okay, here we go. He's starting to establish the jab. He just needs to get some kind of offensive flow going for himself. A hammer fist to the leg, that's cool. But Romero, you don't see that a whole lot.
Yeah, I think that's a waste of energy, to be honest.
Haven't seen Luke go to that patented body kick that he's so good at getting in there. I don't know if he's just a little bit more aware of the takedown. But I think in a round like this, where you're probably down a couple minutes in, why not bring that out? Worst case scenario, you're underneath, and he's comfortable down there for sure.
It's a nice straight left to the body by Rockhold there. Yeah, if I'm in Luke's corner, you know, maybe open up with some power body kicks. You know, you have the advantage. Well, actually, no, he doesn't because they're both southpaw. But either way, throw some power body kicks, and you get taken down with a minute left. So what?
Yeah.
I do like his jab, though. His jab's working for him. Yoel's, you know, I know he's being really cautious because he's got to go 5 rounds, and he can't explode like that very much. So he's conserving his energy.
But it's the exact pace that he wants, and he's not getting pushed in between those bursts. He's bursting, making it look good, making us ooh and ah, and then Rockhold's not, in my mind, coming back with enough.
Yeah.
In between the bursts.
Rockhold looks looks concerned, you know what I mean? Like he's being
nice lead hook.
He's being cautious. He's definitely Romero got his attention big time from that first couple bursts. I'd say the last minute or so here, though, I do like the way Luke, he's been able to land more of his punches, and not just the jab, but he's actually landed a couple left hands, a couple right hooks.
This is a fight, though, that, like we talked about, it's just going to favor Luke the longer it goes. Oh, he's getting a nice jab going. He had a couple of hard ones in there.
Yeah, those were not light jabs. Those were heavy jabs. Romero cannot take the jabs like that, especially if it's only in the second round. You know, it's starting to favor Luke if it goes like this.
Rockhold's got a tough mentality, too. He's talking some trash in between rounds, so I like where his head's at, actually, in this. I almost like it. In my mind, he took some hard stuff, and now he looks like he's a little pissed off. Like, all right, dude, you're touching me up. You had your moments. He's a little annoyed with it, and I think Luke fights great when he's just a little bit mad. When we've seen him fight, not that great is when he's like cocky, you know, a little overconfident. But when he's pissed off and ready to go, like against Weidman, he looks good.
I agree. I like the way the Luke closed that round out. I think mentally that was important for him to get into Yoel's face and to just let him know that he's still here.
Yeah.
This fight's not over. And especially after he kind of lit Yoel up at the end of the round there, he definitely hit him with some hard shots, some hard jabs, some hard left hands. And then just to let Yoel know, like, I'm not done. I'm still here.
We don't see it a lot, too, the kind of inter-round warfare and all that stuff. But I think there's a huge psychology to that. I mean, Robbie Lawler's the guy I go to. When I know as a fan watching, I would get pumped in some of those last fights he had.
Yeah,
where he's like spits on the ground and just staring dudes down in between the fourth and fifth round or something. You're like, wow, this guy is still just fired up to the max, you know?
Yeah, I think it's very important. I mean, it's a whole element to the game, the psychological warfare. It is part of warfare. And you're out there, you're fighting. You got guys like Conor McGregor, you know, who's basically just talking Chad Mendes into losing during their fight. So, you know, not to say you have to do that, but I think it's a big part of the game that not enough guys use.
Rockhold out behind his jab early.
Yeah. Right
okay,
now,
I like that. I like that. The combos are flowing behind the jab.
I like the jab leg kick. That looked good.
Romero looks a little fresher though. Like maybe he caught a second wind a little bit. He's looking like he's in his flow.
We'll see what Yoel's got. You know what I mean? He's always got those bursts, but I would like to think, you know, that with enough training and stuff, he could maintain those a little bit better than he's shown. He's only had, you know, what, like 2 or 3 bursts, and it already seems like he's definitely slowed down a lot from just those couple bursts.
Yeah, you could go into the weight cut and all that, but
that's not enough. That's not going to win you a world title, you know. It may make you a very dangerous guy and almost an annoying guy to fight because any one of those bursts could win you the fight, but banking on, you know, a jackpot basically each time is a risky game plan.
Are you surprised? No takedowns, no real even clinch attempts aside from obviously Rockhold grabbing the kind of Rockhold clipped Rockhold out. Oh man.
Oh my God.
What we talked about, I mean, lightning bursts and Romero got through on one. Man.
Wow.
That was a lightning quick, looked like a left, and then uppercut. We're going to have to catch.
I literally set my drink down and looked back, and Rockhold's on
it was
butt.
Lightning.
Man. No, that's exactly the way. Oh, man, Yoel's up.
Rockhold not happy. I always think it's odd, because it sucks when you lose and then the guy wants to kiss you on the cheek or hug you or something. You're like, dude, get off of me. Like, I just lost. Let me. Like, Rockhold's not feeling it, you know?
Yeah. No, I don't like that. I think this is kind of.
He's like looking away. He's looking away like, dude.
Get him out of Rockhold's face.
Yeah, that's uncalled for. I don't want
to hug and kiss if I just got knocked out either. So.
Yeah, the left hand on the temple, Rockhold straight down. A follow-up left uppercut. That was harsh.
2 jab cross.
Man.
And then that follow-up uppercut was vicious. Man.
Okay, so the division's screwy because, right, he can't win an interim belt, which doesn't mean a lot anyways. So does he get the shot at Whitaker?
I mean, if you're the
I'm
UFC,
so confused.
You just shot yourself in the foot with this. I mean, you know, that's what these dumb interim titles, I mean, in some cases they're warranted, but in this case, definitely not. And now the guy that couldn't win the title just won the fight, which is more important. So I think
just
what other fight can you make now? You can't put Luke Rockhold against Robert Whitaker. He just got knocked out, you know?
I think you could make Romero earn another title shot off of a proper weight cut. You have to, in my mind, you should not get a title shot off a fight that you failed to make weight. You know, just on the principle, you probably need to make weight. I've never heard of that. You don't want it. It's poor taste, you know?
I think it all kind of comes down to why, I mean, because, you know, you got to have a little bit of case by case, and it comes down to the UFC and whether or not they want to just have sort of a red line here where they say if a guy doesn't make weight, you know, the fight before, then he's not getting the next title shot. Do you draw the red line there, or do you be a little bit more flexible and say, well, maybe Yoel was injured and we're happy he's still winning and fought despite the injury?
That's true. Yeah,
So,
we never know the behind the scenes fully.
I'd want to see the behind the scenes, but as a fan, I could say, you know, or not really a fan per se, actually, because I really did want to see Whitaker versus Rockhold. But just the right thing to do at this point is Yoel gets next title shot, I'd say.
Looks like his legs hurt. I'm also just less interested to see some kind of immediate rematch of Romero.
Yeah, you know, that's true. I'm not really excited for this rematch.
Middleweight tournament. I'm telling you. Been saying it. We just need a middleweight tournament. All right, they're going into the post-fight and stuff, but that's where we're going to leave you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll keep the MMA videos flowing, and we'll catch you guys at the next event. Be sure to check out our channel and subscribe if you like what you saw.
All right, thank you very much.